Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Guys, today is a very special day. It's show number 200. You believe this? Our 200th show. And today, we're going to have a very special guest on the show. You know, if you've been following the show, you know that our favorite is Uncle Joey. And Uncle Joey lives up in Cairo, New York, and he said he was going to make a personal appearance for our 200th show. So without any further ado, let's go to camera 3 and let's meet Uncle Joey. Judy? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The chair's empty. I'll come back. Guys, I could have a lot of fun with this, but I'm not gonna. I invited Uncle Joey down, and he would have come down. I'm kind of glad he didn't, but he would have come down. But he's in the oil burner business. He keeps people warm. And as anybody knows, because it's been so cold, he said, Rich, I can't do it. He goes, I'm jammed. So guys, I just want you to know that we're not going to give Uncle Joey the business that way. I mean, when he comes down here and he talks to me in person, the gloves come off. But until then, you know, I got to be fair. The guy's making a living. He's a good man. He's just a Republican. And that's the problem. And that's why we're naming the show Reefer Sanity. You know, at first I was going to name it Reefer Madness. And Kurt said, Rich, look at all the money that people are making. And Judy, can you bring up the first still? Kurt said, look at all the money people are making in Colorado. It's a boom. So if anything, Reefer, or as I like to call it on this show, Judy, can you just come back to me for a second? As I like to call it on the show, MEDI-WANNA. I mean, all we need is a little question mark here. But guys, look at how, Judy, come full with that still. Look how beneficial weed has been in Colorado. They've had $1 billion in sales. And let's see, they estimate it's going to be $6.7 billion for all of the industry. And guys, Colorado made $70 million. Guys, if you had $70 million that you made from selling pot, what would you do with it? Where would you put that money to work? You know what I would do? I'd put solar panels on the schools. I'd pay for the solar panels, I'd put them on the schools, and the money that the schools save in their electric bill, they can put to use for feeding the kids, taking care of the kids, taking care of the community. It's a win-win situation. But what happens? We have the Trump administration, and we have a lose-lose situation. And what does the Trump administration want to do? They want to revert back to the old federal standards where you never knew if a federal agent was going to come knocking on your door when it comes to weed, whether it's legal from the states or not. And this is the problem. And why? Why did Trump do this? Because anything that Obama put into action, Trump's idea of being president is to destroy it. And this is what we're faced with, guys. And I mean, it's got to the point where Trump lost the popular vote, but still, because of the Electoral College, he's able to be president. So guys, what can we do about this? Is there anything we can do to change the system to make sure that from now on, the person that wins the popular vote gets to be elected president? Is there anything that the states can do? Guys, there is. And I'm going to show it to you. And just pay attention because it's a little complicated. But once you understand it, you'll say, aha! So there is a way. So Judy, let's prove my point with clip number 2, please.
While we resist Donald Trump, we also need to make sure our democracy doesn't ever again elect a candidate who loses the popular vote. We must abolish the Electoral College. Now, as you probably know, the Constitution assigns each state a number of electors based on the state's population. The total number of electors is 538. So anyone who gets 270 of those Electoral College votes becomes president, regardless of the popular vote. So how do we abolish the Electoral College?
Regardless of the popular vote.
Amending the
See that,
Constitution
guys?
is very hard, requiring a 2/3 vote by the House and Senate, plus approval by 3/4 of state legislatures.
Almost impossible.
But we can make the Electoral College irrelevant without a constitutional amendment. Here's how. Article 2 of the Constitution says states can award their electors any way they want. So all that's needed is for states with a total of at least 270 electors to agree to award all their electoral votes to the presidential candidate who wins the popular vote. If they do that, then automatically the winner of the popular vote gets the 270 electoral votes he or she needs to become president. Already 10 states and the District of Columbia have passed laws to do exactly this, awarding all their electoral votes to the candidate who wins the popular vote as soon as the 270 elector goal is met. Together, these states total 165 electoral votes. So all we need now is some additional states with 105 electors to pass the same law, agreeing to reward all their electoral votes to the winner of the popular vote. And it's done. We'll never again elect a president who loses the popular vote. The effort is known as the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. If your state hasn't yet joined on, make sure it does.
All right, guys, so as you can see, 100, if we get 100 and more electoral votes, we can make things happen. Now, Judy, we're going to go to stills 3 and 4. And guys, take a guess at how many electoral college votes Connecticut has. Da, 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 da. All right, thank you, Judy. Nice going. Guys, we have 8. There it is in black and white. Connecticut has 8 electoral. Very good, Judy. So, guys, if we get Connecticut to go with the other 165, then we only need how many? 97 more, right? So, guys, we're almost there. And, you know, being that this is the social media, I called my rep, and Judy, can we come with still number 4? My rep is Dave Arconti, and I left him a message. And guys, I'm not going to badger him about this, but I'm going to say, Dave, Judy, come back to me. I'm going to say, Dave, I'm giving you the ball. This is something you can put your name in the history books of achievement. If you help us join with the other states, come on, kid. I'm throwing you a bone. I'm giving you something. Take advantage of it. Make things happen. And I tell you what, start surrounding yourself with some good women. That place is falling apart because this year is going to be the year of women. Listen, Uncle Rich, right, Uncle Joey? And guys, I want to, really, when it comes to Uncle Joey, for years we've been going back and forth, and we rip each other a new one on Facebook. Hey guys, if you want to have fun, Judy, put up our Facebook page, and Uncle Joey's Facebook page is Things to Ponder. So guys, whenever you want to have a lot of fun, you know, you can go to either one of our Facebook pages. We're always there. But you know, first, when it comes to MEDI-WANNA, and you know, guys, I just love to have fun with this, but I was going through some of my old files, and we found sometimes the best way to understand something is to have fun with it, is to laugh at it. And guys, there's a lot of popular misconceptions about weed, pot, marijuana, MEDI-WANNA. And Steve Harvey on the Family Feud asked the question, and guys, it's amazing that I tripped over this, but this is so much fun. So Judy, let's get a kick out of I'm sorry, this will be video number 10.
All right, guys, here we go. We got the top 6 answers on the board. Name something that gets passed around. Chris.
A joint.
A joint.
Look at his look, and then look at he pulls his arm away. Don't touch me. That evil marijuana.
Can I leave?
Yeah. Now, Chris, I don't know what 100 people you thought we were talking to at some nice little mall across good old America, but I'm pretty sure the people didn't tell the survey people, hey, an illegal drug. Let's turn around and see how many weed heads are out there with Chris. A joint.
Hey, holy moly. America's waking up and being honest.
This is when you know we're going to hell.
Going to hell because people smoke pot.
Tracy,
you believe that?
only 4 answers top it, so.
The collection plate at church.
Thank you, Jesus.
Now she's got the halo and I got the horns.
I like the way you tried to stop us from going to hell. You, Mr. You evil boy, passing around the little thing with this funny smell, looking for some saving here. Church plate.
Uh-oh. Jesus, that's juice.
It's less than the joint. This is not good.
Hey guys, if there's one thing that we have the most fun with, it's Trump supporters. And I tell you, the next clip, just listen to these people. Listen to the way they speak, listen to the way they think, listen to the way they act. The one guy virtually says, look, I don't care. He's like Uncle Joe. I don't care whether it's real. The only thing I care about is if it's Republican or not. Don't you get the idea? And guys, I tell you, they bring nothing but joy to my life. So Judy, let's have some fun with clip 11, the Trump supporters.
County, Georgia is the heart of NASCAR country. It
NASCAR
also happens to
country.
be one of the most Republican
Yay.
counties in a Republican state.
Who did you vote for on Election Day?
President Trump.
In the Dawsonville Pool Room
What, it was
restaurant,
somebody
where every
else?
day they honor hometown NASCAR legend Bill Elliott, known as Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. They also now honor President Donald Trump and his first year in office.
George Washington was the father of the country. Abraham Lincoln held it together. Ronald Reagan saved us from communism. And now Donald Trump is going to save us from ourselves. He's
Thank
going
you,
to build
Mr.
a strong
Trump.
economy.
They done excellent as far as I'm concerned.
Restaurant regular Sonny Simmons is like many people here in saying that good news about Donald Trump is getting swept under the rug.
What do you think hasn't been reported that's been ignored?
He has sat at that desk and signed no telling how much legislation that never gets mentioned.
Well, you bring up a good point, Sonny, because he just said himself that he signed more legislation than any president since Harry Truman.
He has.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that objective people look at this and find out that he's actually signed less legislation than any president since Eisenhower. So it's kind of the opposite. And the question is, why do you think
figure that out?
Well, because it's easy. You just count them. Well, it's pretty easy. And objective people count them. And
I
you say,
looked it up.
That Democratic Senate, we'd have some good stuff done.
but does it concern you when he kind of
Uncle
embellishes
Joe,
a
is
little
that your
bit, when he
father?
kind of fibs?
Kind of what?
Fibs.
Don't bother me at all.
How come?
Because every one of them up there big liars.
Many in the restaurant say the news media, Democrats, and establishment Republicans have been working to keep the president down.
I don't blame him for nothing. In other words, he said what he could do. He's trying to do it. And like I say, politicians, you know how politicians are.
How come he doesn't get any responsibility for not being able to pull people together when he promised he would?
He's trying.
For proof of that, many here point to the legislation the president just signed.
A poor man ain't gonna create a job. You know, the rich people what create jobs.
So you like this tax plan because of the benefits it gives corporations?
Yeah, oh yes, definitely.
Do you think that'll benefit a man like you?
Yes.
How is that?
Well, it's just gonna stimulate the economy. Everybody's gonna be spending money. I mean, if you got money, you know, they're gonna spend it.
So you have faith that these big corporations are going to take that tax savings and invest it in more workers and raise salaries?
Yes, I think so.
And with 2018 now on the way, here's advice for the president from his most loyal supporters.
He could probably do better with his public relations.
Well, what would you advise him if you were his public relations expert?
Not to tweet.
If you could be talking to the president, what would you say he should be doing?
I would tell him whatever you want to.
Blank check with you.
Whatever you want to do, you're the boss now.
Gary Tuckman, CNN, Dawsonville, Georgia.
It's almost sad, isn't it? I mean, he came right out and told them that what Trump told him wasn't true, and the guy doesn't care. I don't care. Doesn't matter. The only thing that's important to me is that Trump is a Republican and he's in the White House. That's all I care about. Don't tell me about facts. Don't tell me about nothing. Just tell me what a good job Trump's doing and I'll just repeat it. Right, Uncle Joey? Right? And guys, I'll tell you, you know, the next clip we're going to play shows how Fox News goes out of their way to trick and mislead the simple folk. And when I say simple folk, I mean the homeschooled simple folk, like little Stevie. Little Stevie, go get your mommy, please, so she can watch this next clip and she can explain it to you. Because this might be a little tough for you, because there's a little contradictory evidence that I don't think you're going to understand. Guys, Stevie has such a tough time with science and everything else. But anyway, we're going to play the next clip just to show you how Fox News goes out of their way to mislead. Like I said, mislead the simple folk. So Judy, clip 13. Oh wait, I'm sorry. First we're going to do the still, just to show you how this gets introduced. Judy, do you have still 12? Okay, beautiful. So guys, see, this is the way it works. This is, you see the banner, Fox News, Attorney General Sessions to end Obama era policy that let legal pot flourish. Now guys, see that? The Obama era policy. Anything with Obama's name on it. Trump, destroy. Trump, kill Obama. Trump wanna kill health care. You know, and this is, guys, this is what we're dealing with, you know? So Judy, now guys, just pay close attention, and I'm gonna talk over the girl as she talks, just to point out how ludicrous she really is. So Judy, clip number 13, please.
Legal marijuana use may be getting a big boost in 2018. 7 states now eyeing new legislation to legalize both recreational and medical marijuana in the coming year. But there are some big concerns surrounding this widening legalization. Joining me now is criminal defense attorney Janice Gobor. Thank you for being here this morning.
Good morning.
So give me your top 3 concerns when you hear news like this.
All right, let's talk about the several elephants in the room. First and foremost, even though a smattering of states are making it legal, even recreationally, to smoke marijuana, purchase marijuana, it's still illegal illegal on the federal level.
On the
and the
federal
feds can come
level.
in anytime and shut this down. The only reason they haven't yet is because there's sort of this unspoken handshake right now between the states and the feds. That could change.
Yeah, because
The number two
Obama was
concern
a
is because
gentleman.
it's illegal federally, banks aren't allowing these dispensaries to open up bank accounts, so everything has to be in cash, from payroll to paying the bills. I can't imagine the conundrum the IRS is going to have trying to tax and get tax from these federally illegal businesses.
Right.
Another big elephant is, look, even though marijuana might be legal to smoke, it's still illegal to smoke and drive. Right. Just like with a DWI and alcohol. The only difference is there is no breath
But it's
test
legal
right
to
now
drink and
for
drive, right,
marijuana use.
sweetheart?
And when a driver gets tested and suspected of driving under the influence of marijuana, the blood test doesn't reveal the level of toxicity. So you could have a lot more DWI arrests under the influence of marijuana.
And I think that's something that people oftentimes forget and need to be reminded of.
Oh, definitely. It doesn't make it legal to drive under the influence of marijuana.
So I think one of the obvious reasons why people would say this is a good thing is because of the massive amounts of money that's coming in, right?
Right. So it's going to generate a ton of revenue for these states. It's going to be $1 billion industry until and unless it gets shut down. But there are other regulations that the states don't really know how to put in place and enforce yet. For example, the level of THC, right, the important chemical in the marijuana, in the edible market has to be regulated because it can't be over a certain amount.
There.
The packaging has
That's
to be
exactly
regulated.
right.
You can't be open near a school because remember, most in California especially, if you're under 21, you cannot legally purchase marijuana.
Right, you have to be a certain distance away.
Exactly.
What's the problem?
So there are a lot of things that are going to have to be worked out, and I don't know if it's going to be the boon that everybody thinks it is, and I also don't think it's going to stop sales and possession on the black market.
Interesting. Now, there was a Gallup poll, this is from October, and it showed 64% of Americans favored the idea of legalizing this nationally. This was
of
from
Americans
60% the year
favor it.
before, and it's trended upwards every single year. So why do you think people are
So why is
just
Trump
kind of
against
becoming
it?
okay with this?
You know, I think it started out because it does have a medicinal use that seems to work. So it started there. And I don't know if people liking it. Look, I'll have a martini after work. I won't have one after the show.
Oh, you can have a
It's
martini after work,
I'll have
huh?
one after work. And a lot of people liken marijuana to the same thing. If you can have a drink, why can't you smoke a joint, right, to make yourself comfortable? But until the feds get on board, I don't see it being across the country. I really don't.
When do you think that's going to happen? Do you think at all?
I don't know. I don't know if Trump is a fan of legalizing marijuana across the board, so we'll have to see. But the trend right now is that the states are picking up. I wouldn't be surprised if it's legal in New York here soon. As a matter of fact, even though it's technically illegal, all you get is a slap on the wrist if you're possessing less than an ounce. So it's, you know, it's one of those things.
Jonna, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Just be honest. You know, when you could put that much money in tax revenue to benefit the people in the community, you got to be foolish not to do it. You got to be stupid. But here's the Republican Party, and why? And, you know, we're going to take it to another comedy level where Kimmel makes fun of Sessions, but then we're going to take it to a level where Cory Gardner rips him a new one on the floor of the Senate. And I tell you, this is what we got to do, guys. When somebody lies to you, you give them the old bada bing. Take no prisoners. It's really simple. But first, let's have Jimmy Kimmel making some fun of Sessions and making some fun of the whole idea that pot is now going to be legal in California, because they do their show from California. So, Judy, clip number 14, please.
Here's another coincidence I find interesting. It's Girl Scout cookie season right now. Every year, 3 days after we resolve to lose weight, Girl Scout cookie season comes. So stay with me on this. The Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, today announced that he has rescinded something called the Cole Memo. This was a policy from the Obama administration that discouraged federal prosecutors from pursuing charges against the sale of marijuana in states where the sale of marijuana is legal. If the states make it legal, the FBI leaves them alone. Jeff Sessions is getting rid of that now. So the feds will be prosecuting in states where marijuana is legal again. And no one can figure out why he's doing this. And with all that's going on, is this like locking someone up for retransmitting baseball games without the consent of Major League Baseball. It's very minor, but something about it seemed fishy to me. And I want to connect the dots for you so I can tell you what's really going on here, okay? Here, follow me over here. All right. Now, up on the wall, fact, Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, wants to jail marijuana users. What do people get when they smoke marijuana? The munchies. And what is the best snack when you have the munchies?
Girl Scout cookies.
Now, who makes the best cookies? The Girl Scouts. And when does Girl Scout cookie season start? January, which based on my research is the same month we're in right now. So Jeff Sessions wants to stop people from smoking pot in January,
so
which will result in fewer people eating Thin Mints, tag-alongs, do-si-dos, these shortbread cookies everyone hates, which hurts the Girl Scouts. And who profits from hurting the Girl Scouts? Big Cookie profits. Big Cookie, which is made up of companies like Keebler. And why would Jeff Sessions want to hurt the Girl Scouts and help Keebler? Because Jeff Sessions is a dirty little Keebler elf. That's why. And Jeff, if you're listening with those pointy little ears from that hollowed-out tree you live in, know this, we are on to you, and we will smoke you out of that tree if we have to.
We're going to smoke you out of that tree. But wait a minute. I tell you, this next clip with Cory Gardner, I tell you, this is what it's all about. So, Judy, clip 15, please.
Then Senator Sessions told me that marijuana simply wasn't going to be on President Trump's agenda.
He
that it was
lied
something
to
that they
you.
weren't going to deal with.
He
That's something
lied
that
to
President Trump simply wasn't going to focus on.
He lied
That
to
was
you.
back in the spring of 2016. And up until 8:58 this morning, that was the policy. One tweet later, one policy later, a complete reversal.
Complete reversal.
Of what many of us on the Hill were told before the confirmation, what we had continued to believe the last year, and without any notification, conversation, or dialogue with Congress. Completely reversed.
Complete reversal. Judy, come back to me. Complete reversal. Uncle Joey, what's a complete reversal? Is that when somebody gets something ass backwards, Joe? Isn't that the intention? To get everything backwards? To trick you? To vote against your own interest? So you voted for these clowns, and now they're turning around and they're reversing themselves? Leaving you in a lurch? Is this what you voted for, Joe? Is this what you Republicans voted for? This deception? This out-and-out fraud? Now let's take it one step further. Let's show, Judy, I think this is going to be 17. It's going to be CBS. So let's make sure we got this right, because I kind of reversed them. So let's have clip 17, please. Beautiful, that's it. I got to read this. Recreational marijuana. Sessions issued a memo on Thursday rescinding the Obama administration's guidance, which enabled states. Under Obama, states were given the power to determine if marijuana is legal under their jurisdiction. Sessions' new guidance makes it clear that marijuana possession and distribution is against the law. It directs U.S. district attorneys to enforce that law. Sessions compares marijuana to heroin. What an idiot. How could you possibly even say something? Legal marijuana sales have already helped fund schools and even law enforcement. Places that have been legalized marijuana are doing great. I made that last part up. The Justice Department has trampled on the will of the voters. And Cory Gardner tweeted on Thursday. And guys, this is what it boils down to. But you know what? The guy that I have the most admiration for, and for a guy that I hope runs for president or endorses somebody for president, is Bernie. And what Bernie has to say, and especially pay attention to what he's talking about with how many people are in prison because of marijuana. And think about this. And guys, true story. I know somebody that got pulled over for speeding, and they had just bought an ounce of pot. Fortunately, they smoked some of it on the way up to where they were going skiing. They got pulled over, and the cops confiscated their weed, but because it was under an ounce, they let them go. If they would have been stopped 2 days before that, who knows how many years in jail they would have spent. So do you see how ludicrous this whole thing is? 2 days between somebody, and I said to the person, I said, well, after the cops weighed your pot, did they give it back to you? They said no. But guys, let's hear what Bernie has to say and what he thinks about people in prison because of weed. Judy, clip number 16.
People don't smoke marijuana.
Good people don't smoke marijuana. Huh. How about that? It's dangerous as opioids. This guy doesn't know his ass from a hole in the wall.
People suggest we can solve our heroin crisis. Have you heard this? By having more marijuana. Well, how stupid is that?
I mean, we need grown-ups in charge in Washington to say marijuana is not the kind of thing that ought to be legalized.
I'm afraid that the public is not properly educated on some of the issues related to marijuana.
What an embarrassment. 60,000 Americans died from opioids.
Although about the same proportion of blacks and whites use marijuana, a black person is almost 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than a white person.
Guys, the next clip is going to prove that.
Families will be broken up. Children will be damaged.
Oh, stop it, will you?
Our prison population today is disproportionately black and Latino. One of the reasons is that because of over-policed black neighborhoods, African Americans are much more likely to be arrested for smoking or using marijuana than will whites.
Attaboy,
Send
Bernie.
that message with clarity that good people don't smoke marijuana.
Too many Americans in this country have seen their lives destroyed because they have criminal records as a result of marijuana use.
Send that message.
That is wrong. That has got to change.
Attaboy, Bernie. That's it. It's got to change. Got to change. How are we going to change it? Go back to the beginning of the show. We'll change the Electoral College so that this way we don't get clowns like this in office anymore. I'll tell you, something's going to happen because, you know, guys, it's easy to get upset over this. I mean, how you have one party that goes against the good of the people, that concentrates on corporations and billionaires instead of the working class. I mean, this is just shameful. And the next clip we're going to play is from the Young Turks, and there was a party in Georgia. 67 people were arrested because they're, guys, you're not going to believe this, less than an ounce of pot. They arrested everybody. I know you're not going to believe me, so we're going to play the clip to prove it to you. But do you think if there was 67 white people at this party that they would have been arrested? No. The cops would have been out there toking with them. Hey, guys, how's it going? Hey, good stuff. Where'd you get this? Oh, we stole it from the black kids. All right. So, Judy, let's see what happens when you're black and there's pot in the area. Clip number 18.
Mass arrest that ended a New Year's Eve party after police found a tiny little bit of drugs. And wait till you hear these details. Officers arrived at this party after hearing what was reported as gunfire, and they detected the odor of marijuana and observed subjects fleeing the premises, probably because it was being raided by the police. While conducting their investigation, officers noted marijuana in plain view and initially recovered a semi-automatic handgun, which contextually is either a right that all Americans have, or if it's a person of a different race, it's cause to arrest dozens and dozens of people. So they reportedly entered the house without the permission of the partygoers, and after less than 1 ounce of marijuana was discovered, 63 attendees were arrested and sent to jail because no one claimed the drugs as theirs. So they had to arrest 63 people. Damn, that's a big party. I've never had a party that big. Everyone at the house was arrested for possession of the marijuana, which police say was in everyone's reach or control. Although, to be fair, it was 1 ounce. So I'm sure some of those 63 people were out of arm's reach of it. And according to jail records, the 63 individuals who were arrested on Saturday night were processed by Monday night. That's quite a gap there.
Oh, my God.
All were charged with a single count of marijuana possession, although that's literally impossible for them to have all possessed it. It would have to be like 1 grain at that point. The individuals arrested were predominantly black males, aged 19 to 25. You will be shocked to find out. And Channel 2 reports some have lost their jobs as a result of spending multiple days in jail because of course. Now, you should understand that this was in Georgia. It was in Cartersville, Georgia. Now, in Athens, Georgia, black individuals are 4.7 times more likely to be charged with a marijuana violation than white individuals. The same discrepancy exists on the national level as well.
Likely.
So I wonder if perhaps that had something to do with what happened in Cartersville.
So I had an interesting experience reading this story, John, because in the beginning, they don't talk about what the race is. So as I'm reading the story, I'm like, man, it's Georgia. So they're more conservative there. I didn't even think about race. I'm just thinking about the war on drugs and how stupid it is. My God, they're arresting 63 people for 1 ounce of marijuana. Then I read they were threatened with tasers. Okay, I'm like, all right, partygoers more likely to be black as we keep going in the story. Then they were locked up in cages.
Or tied with zip ties.
Okay, zip ties, I get they were arrested. And then they put them in cages. Then they're kept in jail for all that time. There's no way they're white. Okay, they're going to lawyer up. People are going to come. Is there going to be worried? 63 people at a party, at a white party. Somebody's going to be powerful. We got to get them out of here, right? Yeah. Lock them up, let alone keep them in jail for all that time. Have some of them lose jobs, etc. And then I saw this quote. They told me I was unfit person to have a baby.
Can you imagine that?
All right. And I was going to ask you, because I didn't think it was going to be in the story, hey, can you look up if they're white or black? And if they're white, I'll come on there and be like, hey, I thought they were going to be black, but it turns out they're white. And then you read later in the story, of course they're black, of course. So you think they go into a white party and arrest 63 people and put them into cages over 1 ounce of marijuana. You know why they went in the first place? They're worried about gunshots. They find out it's fireworks. White people are having a party with fireworks. There's 1 ounce of marijuana, and they arrest them all. No way, no way, no way. I know we're crazy on the war on drugs, right? And it's like anything is possible now, right? And cops are shooting moms in yoga pants. And so, but it doesn't look, it's an unbelievable anecdote. But if you say, hey, it's just an anecdote, John just gave you the numbers. In a similar town in Georgia, 4.7 times more likely to get arrested if you're black. The national average is a little lower, to be fair. You're 3.7 times more likely to be arrested, even though you're just as likely to smoke marijuana if you're white or black. So are they targeting black people in mass throughout the country? And it doesn't have to be purposeful. The cops there don't have to go with the mindset of, I hate all black people. If they're black in there, I'm going to arrest everyone. They don't have to think that. That's not what we're saying. But there are assumptions that they make. There's stereotypes in the back of their heads, which leads to black people being arrested 4 times the rate of white people for the same harmless offense of smoking marijuana, or in this case, not smoking it.
I mean, I don't know how many cops they had there, but how did one not just like look around as they're carting out dozen after dozen after dozen of people, just think, what the hell are we doing? We got in this supposedly because of something having to do with justice. And you have to go pretty far astray to end up with this sort of situation. And yeah, I mean, the racial component, like, so as you point out, like, I like to be very upfront about the things I don't have enough experience to talk about. But I will say that in this case, I have literally decades of experience of being white. And there has never been a party of 63 white people between 19 and 25 that didn't have an ounce of marijuana, okay? You can break up every party I've ever been to if you want to and card them all off. You could take their weed, you could take their Dave Matthews CDs, you could do it all. But they don't, obviously, because of the racial component to all of this.
Okay, and last thing, guys. Look, there's 3 layers to this story. There's the outrageous war on drugs. It's so monumentally stupid. There's the racial angle, which we discussed. But there's an argument to be made. The most important angle is the class angle.
Yeah.
Because, like, it is conceivable. The only way that it's conceivable is it's 63 white guys in a holler in the middle of West Virginia, right? And they don't give a damn about you.
Also, it'd be meth.
Right. Well, it might be a different drug, but it's okay. They don't care about you. But you know in your heart of heart, it doesn't matter. You all know it doesn't matter if you're a right-winger or left-winger. There's no way they're arresting 63 people in a party in Beverly Hills over an ounce of marijuana. It is not a thing that happens in this country. It will never happen in this country. There's no way they're arresting 63 people at Princeton. There's no way they're arresting 63 people on Wall Street. It's just not going to happen over an ounce of marijuana. But if you're poor, they don't care about you. They just look at you as something they have to process, not as actual human beings.
I think they would not arrest a party of 63 people in Beverly Hills if they had an ounce of weapons-grade plutonium.
And isn't that the truth? I mean, could you imagine if there was a bunch of white people that they tried to arrest? Oh, mamma mia. And that happened in Georgia. And guess who's going to be in Georgia tonight, guys? Yeah, they're having the college Super Bowl, football Super Bowl tonight. And President Trump's going to be there. And guys, I heard that they're handing out Dump Trump placards or something. I don't know. But anyway, watch the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. But getting back to that clip, you know, it doesn't seem that they're targeting black people. They're targeting black people. And, you know, the Republican Party has an ulterior motive. And what is it? Well, let's find out. Judy, give us clip number 20, please. The most populous state in the nation prepared to legalize recreational weed. The fight against the legalization on the federal level. What's wrong with this guy? Who's this guy? A gateway drug? Sure. Who's DuPont? What drugs does he sell? He wants everybody to take a drug test? What about you? You gonna take one too? Huh? Probably full of opioids. He's proposed that DUI should be tested for all controlled substances? So what do we do with the state medical laws? It's a direct attack on the working class is what it is. Of course, the opioids aren't affected, not at one bit, right? And why is that, guys? An ulterior motive. Simple. It was a closed-door gathering. Where else? They aren't man enough to stand out in public and tell people. It's that simple. Yeah, they got to hide and deceive and trick the simple folk, get them to vote against their own interest. But guys, no matter what happens, pot is going to be legal in California, and the people are starting to rejoice, and the money's going to start to flow. So, Judy, let's prove it with clip 21. Cutting it, yeah, the
Ribbon-cutting
green
ceremony
ribbon.
kicked off the historic day at a dispensary in Oakland, where hundreds of people lined up to buy recreational pots starting at 6 a.m. Harborside is one of the first shops in California to get the new city and state permits. Henry Wykowski was the first customer.
Henry!
I'm coming.
California joined 7 other states and the District of Columbia where recreational marijuana is legal. Massachusetts is set to begin sales in July.
A couple of blackjacks and a lemon tree would be good.
But California is the largest market in the nation, and that has many other states watching closely.
It's going to send a message to other states that legalization, regulation, and taxation of marijuana is the correct public policy decision and that it works.
Buyers have to be at least 21 years old and can only purchase up to an ounce of recreational marijuana. Other restrictions include limiting the level of THC in each package of edibles. Recreational pot also costs more than medical marijuana because of a higher tax. Users say they want to end the stigma surrounding pot use.
I'm an employed, functioning adult, and I also smoke weed, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
With the addition of recreational sales, the pot industry in California is expected to generate at least $1 billion in tax revenue annually. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Guys, look at all the jobs that are being created. Look at the money flowing. Where's that money going to go? And a lot of it's because of medicinal marijuana, right? And guess who's in favor of medicinal marijuana? You're not going to believe this, but see, if Donnie didn't have dementia, he would remember that previously he was in favor of weed. Now he's against it. He's like a leaf in the breeze. So, Judy, let's prove it with clip number 22.
Support is medical marijuana.
Medical marijuana, I'm for, and I'm really a states person. I believe that if the people vote for it, that's absolutely the way it should go.
Medical marijuana, I am in favor of it 100%.
For medicinal purposes, for medical purposes, absolutely it's fine.
Lives will be impacted. Families will be broken up. Children will be damaged because of the...
I know people that have serious problems, and they did that, and it really does help them.
Good people don't smoke marijuana.
You know, I know people that are very, very sick, and for whatever reason, the marijuana really helps them.
Marijuana is not heroin.
What the real story is the hypocrisy around medical marijuana. Medical marijuana, people think it's a gateway drug to narcotics. It may be the exit drug to get us out of the narcotic epidemic, but we're not allowed to study it because it's a Schedule I drug.
Colorado and I believe other states, some of that revenue is being used to fight the effects of substance abuse, of hard drugs like opiates that are harming so many communities.
I do believe medical marijuana, and I've seen results. I've spoken to people. I'm in favor of it.
Whether it's marijuana or whether it's immigration, the president strongly believes that we should enforce federal law.
The marijuana thing is such a big thing. I think medical should happen, right? Don't we? I mean, I think so.
He does strongly believe that we have to enforce federal law.
I really believe you should leave it up to the states.
The president's position hasn't changed.
It should be a state situation.
Medical marijuana, I've said before that the president understands the pain and suffering that many people go through who are facing especially terminal diseases, and the comfort that some of these drugs, including medical marijuana, can bring to them.
And I support medical marijuana.
States should have the right to regulate marijuana the same way that state and local laws now govern the sale of alcohol and tobacco.
Attaboy, Bernie.
That includes recreational marijuana? That includes if they vote for it.
Businesses in states that have legalized marijuana should be fully able to use the banking system without fear of federal prosecution.
I've heard some wonderful things in terms of medical. I think in terms of marijuana, and legalization, I think that should be a state issue, state by state.
How do you know what Trump thinks? I mean, honestly, how do you know? he changes, you know, in one sentence.